The Weeping Willow. This poignant story revolves around an elderly writer in Norway who senses his impending death. One evening, as he reflects on his life and works, a gnome appears and shares a final tale with him. The story is about Olav, a farm laborer who fell in love with a beautiful girl stolen by trolls as a child. Despite multiple attempts to rescue her, the trolls always recapture her. In their final escape attempt, they use reindeer and a sled to reach a lake, but the trolls hurl a boulder that capsized their boat, causing the girl to drown. Olav was heartbroken, spent the rest of his life by the lake, eventually transforming into a weeping willow whose branches eternally search the water for his lost love. As the gnome finishes the story, he realizes the writer has passed away. The gnome tenderly closes the writer's eyes, retrieves the notebook, and completes the final sentences of the tale, ensuring the story lives on. But as the gnome reads the final line, a strange feeling comes over him. He stops for a moment, staring at the page. Something doesn't feel quite right.
It's not supposed to be like this.
The gnome looks out the window, the moonlight casting long shadows across the room. His mind drifts back to the story he just told.
Oh, poor Olav. He never knew.
Slowly, the gnome places the notebook down, his hand trembling ever so slightly. He begins to pace as if contemplating something that had never been buried for a long, long time.
I couldn't let it end any other way. I had to keep her for myself. She could never be with him.
The gnome stops pacing and the truth begins to surface. In a quiet, almost regretful voice, he admits something that had been hidden beneath this careful storytelling.
The girl, she never drowned. I hid her away, while Olav searched endlessly, suffering in his sorrow. I took her from the water, tucked her safely away, where he could never reach her.
The gnome's eyes, now dark with guilt, reveal a secret that had remained buried for far too long. His voice is slow, almost apologetic.
I turned Olav into the weeping willow, because I knew it would break him. He was too pure, too full of love for her. But I needed her for myself. I couldn't let her go.
The gnome's shoulders sag, and for the first time, his face shows a hint of remorse. He looks at the window where the silhouette of the weeping willow tree stands tall in the distance, its branches swaying gently in the breeze.
Olav never got the chance to know. That's the cruelty of it. A man bound to endless sorrow for a love that was never truly lost.
The gnome stands silently, contemplating the tangled web of deceit he had spun. With a long, drawn-out breath, he turns back to the notebook, his eyes lingering on the last sentence now he has to complete. Overcome with guilt, the gnome makes his way to the hidden place where he has kept the girl all these years. When he arrives, she looks at him with a mixture of fear and anger.
You never loved me. You only kept me here because you were afraid of being alone. Let me go.
The gnome's face darkness with pain and rage. For a brief moment, his hands tremble with magic, almost turning the girl into stone.
I don't want to see you anymore.
The gnome freezes and his expression shifting. The weight of his action crushes him and he steps back. He had nearly done something unforgivable.
I'm sorry.
With a heavy heart, the gnome finally lets her go. He knows it is the right thing to do, even though it pains him deeply. But that is not enough. He must undo the curse he placed upon Olaf. With his last strength, he releases the spell. As the curse is lifted, the weeping willow shatters, and from its roots, Olaf emerges human once more. The girl rushes to him and they embrace for the first time in what feels like eternity. The gnome watches from a distance with his heart aching. He approaches them slowly. His once mischievous, selfish nature now replaced with sorrow and remorse.
I am sorry. I took something that was never mine to take. I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I ask for it anyway.
The girl looks at him, her anger still lingering, but she sees the regret in his eyes.
I forgive you.
The gnome exhales deeply as if a great burden has been lifted, but time has caught up with him. His body, old and frail, begins to weaken. He smiles sadly as he feels himself fading.
It's time. I live long enough.
The gnome closes his eyes and takes his final breath, vanishing into the wind like a forgotten whisper. Olaf and the girl, now free, watch as his spirit fades into the night. And so, Olaf and the girl live happily ever after, their love no longer shadowed by sorrow. The weeping willow by the lake, once a symbol of loss, now stood tall and free, its branches no longer searching but swaying peacefully in the wind.